What's going on, guys? It's your old pal CHH here today. Let's talk about the new Dead Silence 4K UHD from Scream Factory. Yeah, this is brand new, guys. So I just got done watching this, and I wanted to hurry up and get this one out because I do have some stuff to say. And unfortunately, one of the things isn't exactly super positive, but it's not necessarily going to deter people from wanting to get this, so I'll just get right into it. First of all, the movie. I haven't seen Dead Silence in a number of years. I think the last time I saw it was probably 2009. I scoured my movies, and I found that I only had the DVD, so totally glad that I got this. If you're a DVD person and you haven't upgraded since then, definitely you're going to want to get this. I like this movie. This movie kind of reminded me that, during that time, there's a negative perception about 2000s horror, and while I can agree with a lot of the notion of that, there was some quality during this time. James Wan basically could write his own meal ticket with the successes that he had, and that's the reason a movie like this kind of got made, I think, because it's not a sore thumb in the sense that it sticks out bad, but it is a sore thumb in the sense that this was not popular during those times, those kinds of doll movies. This was not something that people were just making on the regular. I mean, I'm sure Charles Band, this is his favorite, James Wan film. But yeah, so I got this, and I was like, God damn, this movie's good. It's a damn good movie. I like the backstory. With typical Leigh Whannell and James Wan together, you're going to get your detectives and cop aspect. There's always that crime element in these movies, which I like. Don't get me wrong, I like that. It's a staple of the James Wan, Leigh Whannell tag team. Great acting in this one. It's like, the production value on these movies were good. The set designs were killer. One of my favorite scenes in Dead Silence is when the lead actor is going through that abandoned theater, and the set design on it was really creepy, and it looked like this place had been abandoned for a very long time. So that really looked good. I really dug that. The puppets were amazing. I love that almost Pennywise the clown puppet that you see halfway throughout the film. It's really 3/4 during the climax. I like the twists and turns in the story, and without spoiling the movie, because I think a lot of people probably haven't seen this in a long time, it doesn't have a ridiculous ending. It's a little ambiguous, I think, but it's a good movie. It's a really good movie, and it's a one-off from James Wan, which I think works well. I like the fact that this is a one-off movie. It's not like a big franchise thing, like a lot of his stuff ended up having is like franchise stuff. But yeah, I dug Dead Silence. I'd give this movie a solid B, B plus or B plus or just a flat B. Good movie, good score, very reminiscent of other stuff that the composer did. I think he worked a lot with James Wan, so the cues will sound somewhat familiar. But it's a good movie. Really enjoyed Dead Silence. One of the better James Wan films, I think. I think it ages like a fine wine. Now let's talk about the 4K from Scream Factory. Number one, you're going to get the 4K of the theatrical cut, not the unrated cut. That wasn't a real big deal breaker for me. A lot of times I end up preferring the theatrical cut, but for me, because I hadn't seen the film in a while, I really couldn't tell you the difference. I only own this movie on DVD, so now that I have this, I can watch the director's cut. Let's talk about the 4K. There's a good thing and there's something I don't like, and it's not really Scream Factory's fault at all, and this is a personal taste. This may not be a problem to you. This movie looked really good on this new 4K restoration. It took all the digitalness out of the film, I felt. This film did not feel digital at all anymore. It looked very raw and natural, which is awesome. But it's not going to be super impressive to the naked eye, I feel, because this movie was shot so muted. I feel like that's how James was shooting his movies back then, and I think it was purposeful because he wants to give this sense of dread and bleakness to the atmosphere, and this movie has just muted color, so it's not going to have the most pristine, glowing look on 4K. So it's almost counterintuitive, I felt like, which, again, that could just be something that I'm not a fan of the way this movie looks. But the 4K, like I said, I think it took the digital look out of the movie. It looks very natural and real, but it's very bleak looking. So it's not going to be the most impressive 4K for that reason, in my opinion. You very well could like that about the look of this film. So with that, I'm going to give this one thumb up, not two thumbs up, because I don't think that's Scream's fault. I just think that's the way the movie was shot and the way it looked. Special features, though, they do have two great new interviews with James Wan and Leigh Whannell, and they really cover their stories, not just this movie. They get into the movies, obviously, but James really talks about his start and everything, and Leigh does as well. They're great interviews. I did learn a lot from those two, and you know, I will say that I'm happy I got this. Don't get me wrong, because I had the DVD. I never had the Blu-ray, so I think this is a good release. It's just a strange title for 4K, I guess. Not because the restoration wasn't done well. I think the restoration was done damn near flawlessly, quite frankly. The film looks so good. It's just a bleak-looking film, so it's not going. The HDR doesn't do a lot of work, I guess you could say, on this release. So that's all I'm getting at. I will say, check your Blu-ray, watch it, see if you're comfortable with the way that looks, and if you are, maybe consider getting this at a cheaper price down the road. Or if you haven't upgraded the Blu-ray and you only have a DVD, no brainer, this is going to be a great upgrade for you. And the special features, they got 2 good new interviews on here, so I'm happy with this release. But again, if you have the Blu-ray, do some due diligence, rewatch that, see if you're happy enough with that. And if you are, maybe wait for this to get a little bit cheaper. So that's my 2 cents, guys. So the Dead Silence 4K movie holds up really well. I really like the movie. I hadn't seen it in years. It's a good movie. Just consider what in my opinion is just not a super impressive 4K because of the color palette of the film, not because of the restoration. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts. You could have very different thoughts on the scan of this movie. I'd like to hear your opinion on that, but I'm assuming a lot of you are probably going to be fans of this movie. I think it ages like a fine wine, quite frankly. So thank you guys for watching this. This is good old CHH. Take care, and we'll see you guys next time. Hey, a huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.